What's going on, everybody? So we're going to be installing some shelves today, or at least some shelves in here that I hope I get it all done today. I know there's already going to be one section that I'll talk about here in a moment, and I'm not going to be able to get done because there wasn't any lumber available on what exactly I wanted. But I'm hoping to get at least the rest of the stuff up. So when I leave for basically a few weeks here, my family can at least get some of the stuff out of the house and into the garage again, and not having to put it on all the floor. So let me show you real quick on exactly what I'm going to be doing. So on this wall, I'm going to go ahead and place probably about 5 shelves, not 5 shelves. Basically, I'm going to put a shelf up here so it goes just underneath the garage door rail right there. And then I'm going to build some shelves so that I can fit basically a 13-inch, 12 and a half inch tote within each shelf. So that's going to give me about 5 shelves. Plus I'll have a little extra space at the bottom to take care of it. Now here's the challenge. Number one, I can't necessarily go out and measure everything because, as you can kind of see, well, here, let's start at this end over here. You can see how close the floor is to the drywall right there, and then you can see how over time this concrete slab has actually shrunk down and drooped down quite a bit. So I'm sure I could probably go in there and measure it out and do all the slope and everything, but then there's even some deviation in each location on the floor. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to build everything off of this point right here just beneath this rail so that the top shelf goes just underneath that, and then I'm going to basically build down the other shelves from that point on, focusing mostly from here to here. So I got studs. I've already marked out the studs from here to roughly here. And that's 8 feet. So I'm gonna hit every single stud along that 8 feet with a just under a 2x2. It's a 1 3/8, 1 3/8, and then so yeah, or I think that is actually a 2x2. But anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and put those up. Like I said, I'm going to start at the top, and then I'm going to be using some 2x4s on the side closest to us and putting a shelf in between. And so I'll show you kind of exactly how it's going to go and the bracing and everything, and kind of the thought process behind it. And at least I'm hoping that what I'm doing right now will hold sufficient weight. I don't necessarily need to be able to stand up on it, but I do want it to be fairly industrial. So all right, I have a plan in place. I am kind of winging it, but whatever, let's send it. So the first step is to go ahead and take these 8-foot pieces, and using my jig that I've made, which is actually another one, one of these sort of cross members I'm using, I'm basically putting it down so when it's flush up against the wall, and I put my 2x4s right here, I got 24 inches of space for my 2 feet. I basically have some plywood here, and I ripped them 2x8. So ripped them right in half. So when that's laying on top, I'm going to have that basically flush up against the 2x4. So the first step right now is, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead, and you'll see me cut these down using these 3 right here, and then also you're going to see me add in some pocket holes, because what I'm trying to do, this is sort of this is a little bit different than I typically do it. Typically, my skill level is not high at all, so I'm kind of, experimenting with pocket holes. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can hide most of the bolts that possible, with the exception of the lag bolts that I'll be putting actually into the studs. Those wanted to have some heavy duty ones, and those are going to be visible. At least they're going to be behind the stuff that we put up there, so not too visible. All right, let's send it. All right, so the cross members are cut down to size and pocket holes installed. Let's show you the next step. Let's go ahead and step out here to wide angle real fast. So since I know that the floor is lower over here than it is over here, and since, like I said, this is the important thing right here to make sure I stay underneath it, I'm going to go ahead and measure these all out. I've already done it, actually. It's 82 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all 3 of my front brace boards, basically the legs in the front, to 82 inches. I know once I cut them down, later I'm going to have to hacksaw or basically probably sawzall the other three posts over here, the other two posts rather, or to make it so that they're flush with the boards once installed. But that's just one of the things that I'm going to have to kind of wing it on. All right, so let's go ahead and cut these boards down now. So now that those are cut, it's best for me to explain to you the next step from this position. So since this area is the concern right here, my studs go roughly about here to here. And so now what I'm going to be doing is basically putting along the backside we'll just say 2x2s. I know they're a little, I think they're a little less, but we're going to put the 2x2s roughly here, 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 and here. And we're going to go ahead and start at the top because the biggest, most important clearance is the top. And then once I get that one set up, I'll go ahead and work downwards to get all the others in place. So let's go.
Is that on neighbor's boat?
Gracias, mamá. Delicious. See, I build the whole shelf so we can use this size of box. So if we wanted to, we can just use those as the standard sort of box.
Can we get the transparent ones so that we know? Kind of like I saw those sizes, but transparent.
as long as they fit within there.
Yeah, because I want to be able to see what is in there. Because otherwise, we're gonna have things forever in a box. You're never gonna use it or anything.